Hello all, Onigato here for Oni in the Garden. And we're going to start with actually a backside shot of the raised bed. Down here, potatoes are very much so dead. I'm going to leave them in the pots, not mess with anything there. I am putting down, the mother-in-law got me some bluebonnet pods, and hopefully some bluebonnet seeds are in those pods. So, yeah. I am attempting a mad experiment. Just a little bit of mad science here. That is pumpkin. And this is a trellis. And I am trellising the pumpkin. This is, I don't think I've ever seen this done before. So, we're going to see what it does. I've got blossoms forming here and all down in there. There's all sorts of blossoms back there. So we're going to shift over here a little bit. Went through and neemed and BT'd everything today. Saw quite a few caterpillars on the radishes right through there. Pulled them off, squished them, and then came through and neemed and BT'd pretty good. It actually still smells like neem and BT, so that's a good sign. The little gems, they're not doing great, but they're not dying. And that's the important part right now. Actually, that one's doing pretty well, all things considered. I will probably have to come through and water again tomorrow, but that's tomorrow. This tomato has put on some significant height in the last little while, and you can see flowers. All sorts of little flowers. So I haven't seen any fruit yet, but it is the first weekend of June, and so hopefully I'll see something soon. Especially given that this plant, the really tall one, also has, let's see, it's right there, I believe, flowers. There's a bunch of other flowers in here as well, and I'm just hoping that they all start fruiting for me. I have had to put some rings up. You can kind of see them over there and there in order to keep the branches from bending over. Some of the branches, like here, over there, down here, all over there, they're just so heavy that they're breaking underneath their own weight. Tomatoes technically aren't supposed to grow up, they're supposed to grow across. So, yeah. Down here, this tomato here is doing well enough. It is supported here, or not quite. Here, let's get that supported. Yeah, it's doing well. The pepper, on the other hand, is doing incredibly well. And let's see if I can show them off there. Peppers. There. And there. And more flowers. And since this is the only pepper in the garden right now, and I think that's the only pepper. Oh, there's some more peppers right down there. Since it's the only pepper in several blocks that I am aware of, I am pretty sure that I'm not actually going to be developing freaks or hybrids. Not that I mind freaks or hybrids, but I want hatch green chili peppers. I want hatch peppers directly. And this is supposed to be a hatch green pepper plant. I should be able to get hatch green peppers out of it if it's the only one in the area. No cross-contamination occurring. So, huzzah. Let's go ahead and head over this way. The beets are doing very well, as you can see. I have pulled off quite a few leaves and turned them into salad additions. These are not intended to grow actual bulbs, though they will over time, just because, beets. The new modified watering method of just leaving the hose, just with the spigot barely open and the main valve turned off, or at least as off as it works, seems to be working out pretty well. This bed is staying nicely hydrated. Over here, begonias, lemongrass, new addition. Seems to be doing pretty well. Do probably need to get a little bit more moisture onto it though. The Indian paintbrush is, I can't say it's dying back because it really isn't dying. It's just no longer flowering as much. These beets, I think these are beets. I think I'm going to have to move them back up onto the porch a little bit, probably to where the strawberry pot is right now. Let's see, whatever this flower thing is, it's really stopped flowering. It's gone into, seed heads now. And if it spreads seed heads around, that's fine by me. I do apologize for the background noise. Neighbor is getting some work done on, it looks like, plumbing. So they're running a generator for that. Everything else over here is pretty much held up. The aquaponic beds are waiting on, I need a cubic yard of gravel. And so I'm going to have to wait until that comes ready for anything. The rain barrel now has a lid to reduce the number of mosquitoes. The standpipe there is not a perfect fit. As you can see, it is not a perfect fit, but it will reduce the number of mosquitoes that could form from that stand. I do need to get a bulkhead fitting or another kind of fitting and just put a hose on it or put a spigot on it of some sort. As you probably see, I did mow, which was, so terrible. I hate mowing. Let's go over here and look at the patch, because it's a big old pumpkin patch, or at least it will be. Down here you can see the core of the plants is, the leaves down there got self-shaded themselves out, and so they're not doing great, but flowers. Underneath there's flowers. There's a flower head right there. There's flowers up there. Flowers over there. There's the whole thing is just flowering. I'm not seeing any actual set fruit. I did see a couple of fruit that did not fertilize and subsequently fell off. But if I do see any set fruit, I will throw probably grass clippings underneath it so it doesn't rot out. The pumpkins got a little bit bigger. Humakin, they're a lot bigger than I really anticipated. But the heirloom cucumber here, and there's another heirloom cucumber over there. Yes, right there behind the pod. They are starting to get above it. And once they get above it, I'll be able to train them up the trellis as you would expect under normal circumstances. This cucumber, obviously, lots of flowers. I haven't seen any bees on it, but I haven't seen a lot of bees lately anyways, in general. So I am hoping to get some cucumbers off of it soon. Let's see, let's go ahead and go around to the side. So as you can see, Roundup is definitely doing its job. I mowed some of this, but not all of it. Did mow the side yard, or this side path in the alleyway. Here we are. The blackberry, it's done for the year. I might get a second set of flushes come autumn, which for us is October, November. Yeah, we get some winter in December. So, but you can see it's still throwing out new growth all over the place, especially up there at the top. And I'm just kind of trying to train it along the fence. One thing that it is doing that is slightly frustrating is it's throwing runners. That's definitely a runner. And it's throwing them on the other side of the fence, which is mildly frustrating. I will not deny. But I knew what I was getting into when I got a blackberry and put it on a fence line like this. So hopefully eventually it just goes down that length. And then I think stops right there. I think I'm going to stop it right here because I still want to get blueberries and put them at the corner and about every 3 feet there. Eventually, try them again. Hopefully next time the armadillos don't destroy them. But that's pretty much it. It's definitely moving along. I know what my plans are for next spring. And by next spring, I mean next February. I'm going to go for a true, proper Three Sisters style growth. And to do so means getting maize and planted into the raised bed fairly thickly, fairly heavily. Basically fill the entire bed every 6 inches or so. I think what I will end up doing is I will do, let's see if I can get pulled back far enough here to get the entire thing into the shot. Not without running into the tree. There we go. So from this set of poles right here, which should be level but really aren't, to the left, I think, is all going to be maize. Everything from that point to the right is going to be, I'm not entirely sure yet what, because that's, let's see, it's 4 feet across, that's 8 plants deep by probably 12 plants wide. So a lot of plants. That's like 2 packets of seeds almost. After the corn gets about 6 inches, I plant climbing beans on it. And then after that, it gets to about 6 inches, I plant in pumpkins or squash of some sort to form a ground cover. And it's that last one that means that I have to be careful what I do with this end, because I want the squash to come. I don't need very many squash plants. I only need like 3 squash plants intentionally planted down there to come this way. But that does mean that I really can't do anything ground covery like lettuces or well, actually I probably could, as long as they don't need a lot of light. The entire point of the squash is that it is supposed to provide ground cover and therefore a mulch, and therefore kill any weeds, which it is very, very good at. Problem is, if you've got something small like, I don't know, lettuce, they're down there. They're not getting very much in the way of light. It's the only reason why they're surviving, honestly. But they're going to get smothered. And that's just the way it's going to be. But that's for next year. For this year, we're going to see what happens. Talk to you all later.